Part 2 of Wildfires. As you can see, this story is nonfiction, so it is talking about real life events. And this picture here, this is a text feature. It is a caption. It has a picture and it has a caption. And it reads, "These firefighters are clearing away bushes to make a fire break in Northern California." Wildfires are very much seen in Northern California just because of the landscaping that is there, the environment there. In Florida, we do have wildfires, but it's mostly towards North Florida, not Southern Florida. California's burning. The spring and summer of 2008 were hot and dry in California. Almost no rain fell for 3 straight years. The spring was the driest on record for many places in the state. Trees and grasses were bone dry. On June 20th and 21st, rain, thunderstorms, and lightning rolled onshore along the coast. Excuse me. Lightning started more than 2,000 wildfires. The fires covered much of Northern California with a thick blanket of smoke. The sky turned yellow. The moon turned red. Strong winds and high temperatures helped spread the flames. The heat wave began July 7th. Temperatures inland soared above 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The National Weather Service gave fire danger warnings. By July 12, over 800,000 acres had burned. It was the largest bunch of wildfires in California history. More than 20,000 firefighters battled the blazes. Some teams used fire trucks, fire engines, water tankers, and bulldozers. Other teams used axes, picks, and shovels. Many teams carried water, foam, hoses, and pumps with them. They were fighting fires in places where there were no roads. Special tankers and helicopters dropped water onto the fires. Teams of smoke jumpers parachuted from helicopters to keep on the fire lanes. Fighting wildfires is very dangerous. It is hard to escape if the wind changes and the fire races towards you. In 2008, California wildfires caused the death of 23 people. Then the comprehension question here is, how did firefighters respond to the wildfires in California? And then the answer would be right here, that they used fire trucks, fire engines, water tankers, and bulldozers. And then some teams used axes, picks, and shovels. This is another text feature here that has a caption. Firefighters set a small fire to help prevent a bigger one. So this subheading here is working together. For many years, firefighters worked together to put out natural fires right away. But as fuel on the forest floor builds up, wildfires become worse. So preventive fires are now used. For example, firefighters burn 1 million acres of grassland each year in Florida. This helps the prevention of out-of-control wildfire fires. Sometimes small teams of firefighters start fires using a piece of equipment called drip torch. This here is a question on the reading comprehension. A drip torch is a piece of equipment that the firefighters use. Firefighters in Kings Canyon, California, set small blazes on purpose using this equipment, drip torch. The controlled blazes help to prevent large wildfires from starting. They burn away undergrowth and dead wood on the forest floor. After a wildfire. When wildfires burn out, they leave green and black patches in forests. The green areas are not burned. The black burned areas quickly start to turn green. Fire beetles lay their eggs in newly charred logs. Ants and centipedes are busy even while the ground is still warm. Plants soon appear from roots and seeds that were there before the fire. Hawks sparrow in the air. They hunt for small mammals in the open space. Woodpeckers drill for insects beneath the bark of blackened trees. The new grasses of wildflowers attract grazing animals. Small birds come from all over to catch insects in the fields. A few years after the 2008 wildfires burned areas grew new plants. Young pine trees grew as tall as a person. Before the fire, towering older trees blocked sunlight. Only a few kinds of plants could grow in the deep shade. The wildfires allowed young plants to grow. Without wildfires, low-growing forest plants would die off completely. About 50 years after a fire, the forest once again becomes mostly tall trees, such as pines. Smaller plants would die off on the shady forest floor. The cycle of burning and rebirth in nature continues. Forests are reborn. 10 years after a wildfire, a forest is still renewing itself. Burned tree trunks lose their blackened bark and turn a mossy, slivery gray. Flowering meadows and small shrubs and trees grow in open fields in the forest. Burned areas slowly fade away. The length of time between natural wildfires depends on the location and weather. In much of the West, wildfires may burn a forest every 200 to 300 years. However, in Florida's pine forest, wildfires occur every 7 to 10 years. And this is a question on the reading comprehension test and is a true and false question. And the true statement is every 7 to 10 years. The false statement that I put on the quiz is 10 to 20 years. In the cedar and spruce forests of Washington, 1,000 years can pass between wildfires. Questions still remain. We still have much to learn about managing wildfires. Which fires should we fight immediately? Which fires should we allowed to burn naturally? Are there places in a forest where it's too dangerous to live? We have learned one thing: wildfires are not at all bad or good. Fires are just part of the endless cycle of nature. And this is about the author. And one of the questions in the reading comprehension is, why do you think the author wrote about wildfires? And according to the information that we read, it was to inform you, to inform you about wildfires, how they are created, how the firefighters battle them, and what can we do to prevent them, and that they're not all bad, but they are also good for the environment. I hope this video helped you before taking your reading comprehension quiz. Go ahead and view part 1 and part 2 again before taking your quiz. Good luck!